everyone. I'm Shelley, Lyle.
And I'm Brian Avery.
And welcome to Voices from the Field, the Faculty and Focus Series. The University of Florida Department of Sport Management faculty conducts significant research and advances purposeful content across academic fields within the industry and in the classroom. The Voices from the Field Faculty and Focus Series provides a glimpse into the research and work that influential faculty members within the UFSPM conduct, publish, and lecture on. We are excited to be with all of you this week and with our special guest, Dr. Ko. Dr. Ko is a professor and interim department chair at the University of Florida's Department of Sport Management.
With a distinguished 20-plus year career researching and lecturing, Dr. Ko has been instrumental in the success of students seeking careers in academia. Dr. Ko's research interests are sport consumer behavior and corporate sponsorship, athlete endorsement, and branding. Dr. Ko has well over 100 refereed publications and dozens of refereed proceedings and presentations. Dr. Ko received his BA in physical education from Seoul National University, his MA in physical education with an emphasis in sport management from The Ohio State University, and received his PhD in sport management with his cognate area in business marketing from The Ohio State University. I have a double Buckeye in the house. Thank you for being with us today, Dr. Ko.
Okay, thank you very much, Avery, Brian, Avery, Shelley. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we're excited to hear kind of about your career journey and starting, with your time at university. And curious, when did you know you wanted to become a professor, and why in sport management?
I was a student athlete myself in the college stage, and I was very successful. Won the national championship in the second division in 1989. And I was, serving on the National Collegiate Taekwondo Association, and that's second division as a president, and had, numerous good experiences hosting a national event, etc. Won the national championship, unprecedented event in the school history. But it was my senior years when I started working in the sports psychology lab. My professor, whose name is Dr. Chung Chung, allowed me to study in his lab, his office. And I worked with other grad doctoral students and started dreaming about my career as a professor, as my career. So I truly appreciate that opportunity. I started, sport management at Ohio State University to learn more about the functions and knowledge in the organizations, and how can I help other sport organizations and make a bigger impact. So it worked out. I helped many different sport organizations, including Taekwondo organization. So as an advisor and consultant. So I'm very happy what I'm doing now as a professor, consultant, teacher, mentor, educator. So thanks for asking. Good question. I hope that it's not too long.
No, that was great. It was good to hear your sometimes I think we assume that, professors have only been a professor, they haven't been involved in the industry. And so I think it's great to let them know that you've been athletic, you still play sports, you've always been involved, and now you just happen to teach about it. So I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so in your current position, tell us a little bit about what courses you teach, and what research you're involved in, and kind of where your passion is in the research.
Good question. I've been teaching sport marketing, research method, and business analytics. I love teaching these courses because, they are all my research interest area, what I'm doing in my research. I love sharing what I learned through my research with my students. So my research interest area, like what you introduced in the beginning, branding, sponsorship, consumer behavior, etc. So I'm curious how people become loyal consumers, and what I'm doing in my I'm also interested in what sport organization can or need to do to further enhance their well-being and quality of life through sport participation. That's my key primary concern. I'm also interested in partnership and sponsorship research because athlete sport organizations can change our community in a positive way through this partnership with other sectors. I'm always excited when I have some tangible evidences and outcomes about our research. And it's not the research is not just for research. We create impact on our community through those partnership and practice.
So just to clarify, when you talk about partnership and practice, you work with other organizations in some of your research, is that correct?
That is correct. For example, corporate social responsibility, sponsorship, endorsement. They are all partnership, co-branding kind of practice. So we grow together for our profit, revenue, but at the same time for common cause and good.
Very cool. I think that's interesting for students too, to know that you've worked with industry professionals. It's not just research behind, the scenes. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Ko, kind of transitioning a little bit to some of your daily duties and roles. I know as of recently you were named the interim department chair and you took on that responsibility at the 1st of July. Prior to that, though, you've got several decades as a faculty member and professor. So let's look at kind of what your roles as a professor have been, and then what your expectations are as an interim department chair moving forward.
So typically I teach as a tenure track faculty. Now reduced course load 1. So I'm running sport marketing lab myself and conduct sport marketing and consumer behavior research with my team. And also I mentor my doctoral student, master thesis students, and that is the activity that I love most.
Right.
I love struggling for some issues and problems with my guys. As you mentioned, this summer I started my interim chair position.
Yeah.
So I'm learning administration side and working with other administrators and leadership team. At this point, I'm trying to build a quality culture and achieve common goals with other staff and faculties. So I believe the conceptual skills is extremely important to do well in this position. And decision making is another important area for me. To do well, I think building trustworthy organization is extremely important for our student and other stakeholders like donors. To do that, we need to be able to do it, accountable. We need to be fair, and we need to be transparent. And the integrity is extremely important. So I will follow these 3 principles of trustworthiness. I define it myself and publish this work in the Society in Sport journal. So that is my belief, and that will be my practice as an interim chair in this, this year.
Yeah, no, it's a very solid plan. The trustworthiness piece, I think, is so important for the student population. Right. I know we've discussed in the past some opportunities, potentially international considerations. So
that's right.
I know that's kind of a directive that you were looking at, is kind of broadening the horizon of where we attract students from. So really looking forward to that. You want to share any insights into that at this point, or?
That's right. We have a number of students from other countries, Asia, European, South America, and etc. Faculty members, same, Canada, Middle Eastern country, Israel, South Korea, etc. Greece, So global campus, internationalized campus is extremely important.
Yeah.
Not just for the ranking, but also global presence and leadership of this institution and this program. So currently we are world ranking 10th and national ranking 1 in terms of sport, leisure, tourism, recreation side. But I'm still hungry. Number 1 in the nation, number 10 in the world ranking is not good enough. We'll continue to work with the world leaders and become brand leadership in the academic world. To do that, we need to produce good efforts, good scholars, good educators. And so training, mentoring process is critical.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to recruit good faculties and good scholars, tremendous potentials, and doctoral students and master students. So that is a very, very important task for us. What I learned from the Seoul National University and Ohio State University. Back then, when I was in Ohio State University for my degrees, Ohio State was number 1 in the field, sport management field. So when you go to the conference, NASM, SMA, EASM, you see the alumni members of Ohio State. They play a big role in the academia. So I know what we have done in Ohio State. So, but we are way much better now, and we will grow further. So, great to greater, right?
Right. Yes, right. No. I love having an international presence when we have conversations with our students, and just knowing where everyone is winding up and the opportunities that exist beyond just what we know as the big three and whatnot in the United States. So it's great to hear that message.
The reason why we want to grow bigger is for impact.
Yeah.
Not just for ranking, not just for pride pride in us, but also we have responsibility.
Right.
Global presence, that means that we care about the global issues, right?
Right.
Surrounding the sports, culture, and the people's life. So we care them. We help solve those problems. So I'm pretty interested in, those issues. And global leadership means, taking care of the people around us. So very important to have that mind.
Right. No, I couldn't agree more. That's excellent to hear that. So kind of looking at your job from a different perspective at this point, what have you enjoyed most about it? And what has proved to be, say, the most challenging? And I know that you're wearing a couple different hats at this point. So what's the different perspectives, if you will?
Well, at this point, it's been 15 years. I produced 13 doctors.
Oh, wow.
And I have 4 doctoral students at this point.
Okay.
And that is most enjoyable things in my life, academic life. I love struggling to find the better model to explain the sport phenomena and create some new knowledge. We need a struggle for this because no one go through this path. So some topical areas we are in the leadership position always because we are the first guys who talk about it. For example, scarcity effect in advertising, promoting. So one of my students did it. Athlete, brand image, human brand. My student bring the concept first time. Brand leadership, for example, another example, and things like that. So myself, I struggle to come up with the best model to explain the service quality myself and to further enhance the quality in the service, the sport, professional sport, major spectator sport industry, fitness participatory sport industry, and web etc. So a lot of struggle, but
Yeah.
it is a necessary pain, but fulfilling experience. I love it.
It sounds like, like as a mentor, if you will, for the PhD students, that both the reward and the challenge are one and the same.
Yes.
Is what I'm driving. And I know one of the major objectives in getting a PhD is, especially as the mentor, is extending your research stream. So with that said, where are some of your students winding up, and what are they doing? I'd be curious to know.
That's a good question. Thanks for asking the question. Some of my students are placed in the world leading institution, like
Okay.
the Seoul National University.
Okay.
And one Japanese student got placed in the Waseda University.
Okay.
The best in Japan, best in the Seoul National University.
Mm.
I believe that is the best way to elevate our status.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So, some student who got a degree from master's and doctoral degree from us, sport management program, they work for other general marketing department. For example, Akiko Arai, Tokyo University of Science. She's a professor, associate professor in the general marketing.
Okay.
So we are kind of doing interdisciplinary research and learning from others, and be able to readily communicate what we found and learn from them. That help us to do that,
Yeah.
One of my students was placed in the advertising department in Texas Tech University.
Oh,
so
okay.
It is possible because we talk about, we explore, we examine the topical areas they do in innovative ways, So we do cross-cultural communication, we do interdisciplinary research. So that is I think helping us. That helps us to build academically, reputation within the field and neighboring fields as well. So only the impact become bigger and bigger because we are appealing to we are speaking to broader audience.
Right. And
the impact is bigger. I'm not just talking about the citation. I'm talking about the audience, the industry, neighboring industry, like Brian, you're interested in entertainment.
Right.
Broad, right? Sport, we don't need to live just in sport. Sport has a, number of, different aspects.
Right.
So we need to work with other industry, like partnership, as I said, right?
Yeah.
So we try to understand their needs. They are curious about something that is our issue. So we give similar or different solutions, but be innovative.
Always. Yeah.
So,
and can you tell us a little bit? I meant to ask this before, but what are some organizations you partnered with and done research with?
So right now, Brian, you help me out. Global sports leadership program. We are. This is a 5th year to do it. Korean government, they carefully select 15 sport leaders, former athletes, referees, administrators, coaches. Then we train them and send them back. So they after spending 6 years in Gainesville, they grow so much, went back and leading. Right now they are leading their sports as a coach, referee, national team coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Very
cool. The satisfaction level is a 4.8 out of 5. They are pretty much satisfied, but that's not good enough. Like what I said, satisfaction is not good word. It's
Impact.
passive maintenance.
Yeah.
Fascinating,
Mm.
delight is good words that I
Mhm.
like to hear from them.
Right.
So I think they are fascinated by our service, Global Sports Leadership.
Yeah, it's a great program. It's great to be a part of it. Absolutely.
So I'm not doing it myself. I pull out all high quality elements from each faculties, and they are contributing, and collectively we are dreaming together and produce best possible leaders. So I'm thinking about expanding this venue to other countries like Japan, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Sagas is doing some work with Saudi Arabian government. So something like that. So we are not just increase our, develop leadership in academia, but at the same time, the impact is bigger as we go global, like that.
Sure. Yeah. It sounds like they come and get education and grow and develop, and then you've equipped them to go back to their home countries and then implement what they've learned here.
That's right.
Which then multiplies to their people and their organizations.
Exactly. We are working like Brian and Shelley, you guys help us a lot. We are working with numerous professional, amateur sport organizations and governing bodies, right? So we work together, always, research, practice, industry, stakeholders, they are not separately, present, exist. We coexist, we work together, so help each other. So I like that aspect. That's part of my job.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And so as a professor, how have you kind of evolved as an educator and a researcher in your field?
Educator and researcher in my field. How could you rephrase your question?
Sure. How have you grown and changed in your research, maybe, or even as a professor? There's always like your students come from their home countries and learn and grow in a lot of areas. Right. So how have you?
You know what? Self-determination is a very important thing. And ask some good question. Never give up. Curious. And be open. I have so many different mentors because I am seeking advice still after 20 years. A full professor, a chairperson, doesn't matter. There are always good people around you. You can learn from them. So one of the example is Dr. Chris Janiszewski, now chair in the Department of Marketing and Business School. He's helping us a lot. I was in his doctorate seminar, the consumer behavior seminar. Fascinating. Okay, we all need to take it. I bring my students, then take it. That mega superstar help us only improve our quality in the research. Things like that. I'm open to learning, criticism, So that kind of mindset and practice, mentorship, very important, right? So I have been learning myself, changing myself, and become better scholar, better teacher, and my student, undergraduate student, master student, doctor student, doesn't matter. In terms of problem solving, we put our head together and struggle together and find the best solution, share it. It's fun. It's so much fun. What is happening?
Well, I can definitely tell you enjoy your job, and I think that's awesome. You enjoy the relationship side of working with students and coworkers and other departments, which is very cool. And for students who are considering a career in academia, is there a pathway or maybe a plan that they should have that could lead to a role like yours? And if so, what would that be?
Who is the best student? Someone may ask that question to me. Actually, when I went to China, group of students at one conference, the moderator asked me, "Hey, Dr. Ko, University of Florida is a great school. What kind of student are you recruiting? Who is the best good student?" I received that question. My answer was, I'm looking at their talent. I'm looking at their GRE, GPA, past research experiences, etc. But the most important element is if they ask good question. First, second, if they are hungry for knowledge to solve this problem. Okay?
Yeah.
So ask some good question. Be hungry always. That is the most important, standard criteria when I select my student. So I try to find these elements when I do interview with my potential candidate. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Super helpful.
So one of the examples is Dr. Akira Asada, currently the assistant professor in the Texas Tech University.
Mm-hmm.
He was a master student and came to my office. Actually, my friend's colleague in the Waseda University recommended him to me. Hey, Dr. Ko, Yong Jae, this is the best guy, best student in his class. Can you help him out? Okay, send him to me. I was asking why you are here. What do you want to learn? And he's very much interested in learning why people become fan in baseball in his country. He's curious about that. And during the master's time, 2 years, we struggled together and focusing on the word of mouth. Okay. The socialization process, fan socialization process, why people become a fan. Let's try to find the influence determinant factors. We focus on word of mouth. Why people accept when others recommend. So we come up with pretty good. We created a good model, research model, based on European Journal of Marketing conceptual paper, and empirically tested some of those elements, like the message senders characteristics, message characteristics itself. So this research, 2 research have been published in the Journal of Sport Management and Sport Marketing Quarterly. So good citation now. And that is the first kind of word of mouth related research in the sport literature. You know what I'm saying? So those students who bring good question, we are ready to struggle. That's me. I'm enjoy. I'm looking for those students.
Yeah, no, and I love it. We're going to be pulling segments of what you just said about being hungry, asking the right questions. I think it's so important to give some insight that beyond your GPA, beyond your GRE,
exactly,
there's got to be this desire that exists. And I think you've captured that beautifully. Giving an example with respect to your student and or working on a subject matter that hasn't been touched before, and then you've got an outcome, and then now it's something for someone else to build on. So it's fascinating to hear it, to see it unfold. But I love how you say it's a struggle every time. And it is. Answering these difficult questions is not easy. Even asking what questions to ask is going to be very difficult. So I love hearing that. Now, if you flip from, say, an academic perspective at this point, and you're talking about your undergrad and even your graduate students that are just getting your master's degree or something, how can they prepare themselves with respect to going into the sport industry? What marketing trends, what are some of the international developments, social media factors that are going to influence that trajectory, if you will?
Well, asking good question. I will start with this word. I mean, asking good question. That means to ask good question, you have been thinking, have some philosophical background.
Right.
So meaning, you should have some meaningful experiences to do that, right? And, good cause yourself, good intention, sincere intention to help others. If you are curious, yes, I can do, or I can give up. No, I don't have time. But if you want to be passionate about your research area, you should think about the impact. What kind of people will get the impact, or community you give impact, influence? It's big, it's meaningful. So all of our students, I hope they have that kind of mindset, something meaningful in their life, in their professional career. So professional career, whatever position it is, they are ready to serve, ready to help the community and they are involved, or the organizations they are working for, or other stakeholders, they work together. So the contribution, impact, quality goes all together. That way. So I think University of Florida is good. Why? Because they produce good apples. They are not just good in technical aspect. They are good for change people's life, environment, and make everything better. Many ways.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I've been, encouraging my student to do that.
Okay. So it starts with.
I hope that could answer your question.
No, it absolutely does. I mean, I'm hearing it once again. Just you got to be asking questions. You got to be curious, and you need to be able to, even if the question's not good, that desire to learn, and then go, oh, okay, that didn't work out, or I made a mistake, maybe. But you learn a new question, and then it just kind of impacts your trajectory as a result. So that's perfect. Now, how have you seen the industry of sport change as of lately?
It's a large question. Let's not underestimate. It's very broad. You've been in the industry for a few years, so maybe if you want to give us a few, nuggets of what you feel like you've seen.
That particular question make me think I'm dumb.
No.
I'm getting dumber. You know what I'm saying? Because the world, particularly the sport world, has been changing so fast. Very difficult to catch up.
Yeah.
In the classroom, like sport marketing, I do my best to incorporate new change. Technology, for example, social media, consumers of, power and ability, increased authority, word of mouth influencing others, much bigger than our own advertising or promotional efforts, right? So things like that, it's been changing so much. So I need to upgrade my knowledge and information. AR, VR, 5G, consumers' experience has been changing. Their needs, wants has been changing. So service innovation occurring all the time. So pretty difficult to catch up. But we need to open our mind and learn. The best way to do it, to do better our job, is to learn from industry leaders. They are there, inspirational, creating opportunities. So I always open for criticism, learning, and interacting, working with industry people. Very important thing. So we are learning from them. We are helping them to do better job. So not two separate things. Avery, did I mention about the 4x4 SUV metaphor?
No.
Yeah, I think I, you know, you know, uh, I drive a truck.
Oh, yes, the Honda.
4x4
Yes.
to run fast, or not stuck on the sand on the beach.
Right.
4x4 is necessary. Otherwise,
Right.
you cannot go.
That's right.
Industry people, leaders are front wheel. Scholars like myself, back wheels. We have to walk together, right?
Yep.
Same direction. That is important. I don't want to go back while he want to go forward. Same direction. Go together.
I love
Help
it.
each other.
Yeah. I'm curious, though,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of change, obviously. You had said 5G, the word of mouth,
Yes.
and influences
Yes.
in that regard. Have the foundations, though, of sport marketing, have they changed, or are they kind of on solid ground at this point?
I'm a marketing guy, so one thing remaining important, very important things for me, management philosophy, marketing philosophy, very important. What do you mean by marketing orientation? Central importance of customers. We are doing this for customers. Good thing is we are promoting good product. We are not selling same product. So we help promote health, well-being, life quality, good things.
Yeah.
Think about the value system we're offering. Sportsmanship, one value system have so many different kind of positive impact dimensions, right? Like Shelley, when you play soccer, sportsmanship is number one. Team play, caring others, safety, not yourself but others. Winning is important, but humble way, losing, the way of losing, way of living, winning. Those kind of a value systems, peace, like Olympics. Biggest asset we have. So we are delivering those value to other people. So we still have a big, huge confidence in that. But our orientation is at customers learning those value, change their life, make their life better, and that kind of spirit spread out in their community, so they change. So we help them change. So that is a true impact for us.
Okay.
I think no matter how many, to what big change we see in front of us, those kind of things, the value system doesn't change much.
Okay.
So we are here for that. We are not a people who sell tires or cars.
Right.
We are selling those kind of spirits. So making better life, making big impact on the life. So that is the best part of my job. I always have confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. I appreciate that. Yeah, the value system, it's got to be intact, and in order for it to move forward or work in the first place. So that's a great way to put it.
And for students interested in pursuing a PhD, what are some questions they should be asking themselves about some of their topics? I know that I can hear in what you've said that they've got to have a hunger, right, for knowledge and things like that. But, what are some ways they can be doing research before they apply to programs, or even looking for professors to work under and for their dissertation and their choosing their topics and things like that? What other things? It sounds like if I can take what you've said, I know that they've got to have a hunger and they've got to ask good questions, and they also, have a moral compass of a passion to give back and to care. Is there anything else though they can look for when who they're choosing to work with?
Be humble. That is very important thing. Undergraduate student think they know more best. Doctor student, when they are about to getting a doctoral degree, they are very humble.
It's a humbling experience.
After getting 100 knuckleheads, so much struggle.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's never easy to create something. When we build a house, you know what I'm saying? It is easy to copy the house, but it's never easy to build a new house. We are building a new house. I'm building roof. You're building a window. You're building a cornerstone. When you look at the holistic picture, knowledge background, theoretical background, your contribution could be small. One little brick, sometimes you contribute. But without that brick, one piece, this is not complete. You know what I'm saying? So could be minimal, but the impact, the influence is so big. So it's so meaningful experience. So we need to be humble, but at the same time, we don't need to be too humble to undervalue what we have, what we do. So it is so important what we are doing. So I don't know if it is a good answer for your question, but humbleness is important for continuous learning, right? So hunger is another driver. To be long run sustainable, this is the biggest motivator and driver for you. Hungry spirit, hunger, want to know, want to do better, want to explore. So ultimately, you know what? It is most fun thing. When I find something interesting, I always, I'm so passionate about sharing, delivering this knowledge. Do you know that? I know that because I learned these things through literature review, and actually I tested it through my experiment. So I found it. Do you know that? So when you share what you learn, your new knowledge, you created, so exciting. So older student will have such kind of a fulfilling experiences about when they finish some project. So doctoral students, particularly, they are the people who create new knowledge. So it should be innovative, copying, and repetition, not what we do.
Yes, I think that answers the question and just adds more, knowledge to what it looks like to be a PhD student, to get, pursue topics of interest that you're not only you're interested in, but then you can share that and be passionate about that with students, because you're right. You have to have interest for longevity.
As a professor, I cannot give my topic to my students because my interest, their interest could be different. That's not ideal for me to, hey, I need help. Can you do this for me? That's not his knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? They have their own creativity and interest.
Doctoral degree, they need to be independent scholar, teacher. To do it, the interest shouldn't be my own interest. Their interest should be their own interest. You know what I'm saying? So bring in good question. Their own question is what that much important. You know what I'm saying? Not just for now, but the 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, even after the graduation, becoming a professor, they will get promoted. They will get, raise, grow as a scholar with those questions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They should build the confidence. Oh, they're the best for this question. That's what we want. That's the only way we build academic leadership. You know what I'm saying? That much important. The student, potential candidate for doctoral program should have good questions.
Yeah, no, that research stream's important, obviously, because you're stuck with it for a long time. So it better be a good question and one that's complex enough that you can spend a lifetime evaluating. So I absolutely get where you're coming from. Now, with that said, we've loved the interactions and discussion at this point. So we're going to transition a little bit.
Yeah.
First and foremost, though, where can prospective students and or students, the current students we've got, connect with you? What's the best way moving forward?
Moving forward?
Yeah, like LinkedIn, is that a good way to connect with you, or just email, or do you prefer, meeting face-to-face? I mean, if we've got a prospective student, that would like to know more about the PhD program or working with you for that matter.
Right. I receive email from a potential doctoral student, master student from on the world.
Okay.
They search information through articles.
Yeah.
My name is there.
Okay.
There's some email address.
Perfect.
From India, a couple of students contact Iran.
Okay.
Student contact me. Hey, Dr. Ko, I'm interested in your research area. Do you have plan to recruit a new doctoral student? My question is, you are interested in my research interest area. That's not important. What do you want?
I like that, Dr. Ko. That's poignant. No.
What is your interest area?
Yeah, no. What is your area? Yeah, right. And how does it align with what I'm already doing?
Yeah. So email is good.
Email's
good. And open is door. My door is always open. So for you, so knock on the door.
Good. No. I love it. So beyond that, we're going to transition to something a little fun. I don't know how much Shelley shared with you, but we do this rapid fire Q&A. Where we it's lighthearted, but it's a way to kind of get to know you, if you get where I'm coming from, beyond just your academic and or professional endeavors. So Shelley, all you.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 minute. I have a timer on my phone. Going to go 1 minute and see how many questions you can answer, and just answer whatever comes to mind first. And or if you don't want to answer, you can skip it. So we'll just see how many you can get through in a minute. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm scared.
You're going to be great. Okay, first job. What was your first job?
First job in my life?
Yeah.
Oh, kindergarten teacher assistant.
Okay.
I love it. So I recommended my son to do that same thing. So they know what is teacher look like. What is student look like?
Yeah.
What is teaching look like? So I learned so much through that. It's only 1 month. So tough, but I love it. Kids love it.
What is the worst haircut you've ever had? Have you ever had a bad haircut?
You don't like my hairstyle now?
We'll skip that one.
Okay. Skipping is good because my wife take care of this. So I cannot answer.
Okay, fair. I love that explanation. What's your favorite time of the day?
Oh, I said when I interact my student.
Okay.
First. Second, after dinner.
Okay.
I have a little bit of free time for myself.
Oh, nice.
So about 1 hour, 2 hours myself.
Okay. Last question. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
PE teacher. because I have so many PE teachers around me help me out. When I was a student athlete from elementary school, middle school, and high school. I went to the good school. So, but they helped me to not just learn physical activities, but also help me to be a good student. So I admire them, their service. So I wanted to be a PE teacher and help others like what I received. So gratitude so much.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's it. The time is up. Sorry you didn't hear the timer, but that was great. You did awesome, Dr. Ko.
did.
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity again. You know.
So I have to say, though, I'm sensing a theme. You were just an educator from the beginning. So kindergarten to wanting to be a PE teacher to actually becoming a professor and faculty member. So that's fantastic. But once again, thank you, Dr. Ko, for joining us today and taking the time to share your research and your professional endeavors. I'm certain the University of Florida Department of Sport Management, the students, the faculty, and alumni appreciate and value your thoughts. With that said, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at UFSPM. We are your hosts, Brian Avery.
And Shelley Lyle.
And go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.